Make a missile like a missile, bomb, bomb. Every time I show up, blow up, Make a missile like a missile, bomb, bomb.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be a video of first impressions, makeup tutorial. I don't have a full face of first impressions, but I'm going to use what I have that I have not used on my channel before. I've done this once before on my channel. It was actually a full face of first impressions. Yeah, so I haven't done this in a while, so I thought I would do that, something a little bit different. Alright guys, so let's just get started. So first I'm going to start with the eyes. I want to get into a habit of doing the eyes first, because I always have fallout or shit like that, and it always messes up my under eyes. Or if I do glitter, I always forget, and I do my face first and it gets everywhere. So I'm going to start with the eyes. So I'm going to use this concealer by Neutrogena. This is the Hydro Boost Hydrating Concealer. I haven't used this on my channel before, I don't think so. So it has this little circle in the middle, and I think that might be like what the hydrating part is. I'm just going to use this to prime my eyelids to do the eyeshadow. And I have like this weird, I don't know if you can see that, I just covered it with concealer. But I have like this weird texture right here and right here, like this dry red texture. And it makes my eyeshadow super patchy, and I don't know how to get rid of it. It's driving me crazy because y'all know I'm a blending bitch. But this concealer is super creamy. It's very like hydrating, so it's like a little bit of a dewy finish, I guess. So I'm gonna grab this palette by Suva Beauty. This is their Neutral Necessities palette, and here's what it looks like. I've dipped into this only I think one time. So this is basically first impressions. I just use these two shades just to darken like a little bit of a crease. So I'm gonna grab my Anastasia A12, my favorite blending brush ever. And then I'm gonna grab this shade right up here. This is called, let's see. This is called Shanghai Nights, right here. There we go. And I'm just gonna use that to set that concealer that I put down, so that everything blends nice. Y'all know the drill with that if y'all have been watching me. Almost everybody does this. So the Balm also sent me this palette recently. So, here comes with a little brush. Probably not gonna use this. But here's what it looks like. It's a bunch of nudes. So I guess I'm gonna be doing like a neutral look today, since most of my new eyeshadows are all neutral. So I also have this palette by Suva Beauty. This is called Cupcakes and Monsters, which I absolutely love the name of this palette. It's so cute, and it's very fitting because it's Cupcakes and Monsters. Ugh, it's so pretty. Super neon, super colorful. So I'm gonna use this for like a pop of color on the lid, or like the lower lash line or something. I like doing pops of color or color. I feel like I don't do enough color on my eyes. So I'm gonna grab this shade right here called Brilliant, and I'm gonna put that into my crease as a transition shade. Okay, I lied, that's the same color as my skin tone. Alright, so for a transition shade, I'm just gonna go in with this shade up here. This like peachy one. Alright, so that went on pretty nice. Alright, so now I'm going to grab this orange shade right down here. I'm going to put that a little bit lower in the crease. Like always, you always want to build up the crease with dimension. The darker shades usually go deeper into the crease. Alright, now I'm going to deepen the crease even more with this shade right here. I'm actually going to change my brush to something a little bit more concentrated and smaller, so I can get a precise application. So I mixed in a little bit of the black, as you can see. The brown wasn't giving me enough depth. I just mixed the two together. What? Okay, look at that. Do you not see that? That is not blending. Oh my gosh. See it. What the fuck? You gotta blend. Oh my gosh, what did I do? I'm gonna use the brown to try and blend that out. Do you see that line right there? Do you see that line right there? It's not blending out properly. Okay, honestly, I've never had this much trouble blending out a color. So I'm gonna go on to the Balm, and I'm gonna use a shade from here for my eyelid. Alright, so I'm going to grab the shade Brave from the palette. I'm going to put that all over my eyelid. My crease looks so patchy. I'm gonna try and use this brown shade in my crease a little bit. Maybe that'll help blend that out a bit. I'm gonna take this shade right here called Built. I'm gonna put that in the inner corner of my eyes. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh yeah, that looks good with the brown. Ooh yeah, give it to me. Alright, so now I'm gonna go into the Cupcakes and Monsters palette. I'm going to grab this red shade up here called Bloody Mary. I'm gonna put that on my lower lash line. So we're gonna do a little pop color on the lower lash line. Ooh. Oh my god, that looks cool. I don't do this very often. Do you see that? Ooh. I think the red and the brown tones are gonna look really good together. Alright, so for eyeliner, I'm going to tie in the lower lash line with this eyeliner. This is also by Suva Beauty. This is a Hydra liner. I've never actually used this before. This is a new impression. So this is definitely new. The Cupcakes and Monster palette was definitely new too. So was the Balm eyeshadow palette. So far, everything has been new. Alright, so these are Hydra liners, so I believe you just get these wet. This is in shade Scrunchy. So I'm just going to spray this with like a setting spray or something. So I got my favorite eyeliner brush. This is a Sigma winged liner brush. Super tiny and it's angled. So I just wet the product a little bit. As you can see, it's shiny. So I'm just going to dip into it. Ooh, it's hard. Alright, I've never used Hydra liner, so let's see how this goes. Oh, this is like neon. I might have to add some pink to my lower lash line because this is a little bit more pink. There we go. Okay, so I don't know if I'm just using this wrong, but that's like, it's not coming off. Okay, honestly, I don't really like this. It's super patchy. It's not very user-friendly. I feel like if you don't know what you're doing, like, I don't really know what I'm doing. It's so, like, watery. I'm trying to get it, like, more thick, but then, I don't know, it's not as pigmented. And it's, like, super watery, but when it's watery, it's just, like, super patchy. Okay, I don't really like this. I don't really like this shade either. I want to do more red. So I'm just gonna go over it with a red eyeliner. Alright, so I took off the entire eyelid because I was not happy with the way it was turning out with the Suva Beauty palette. I did use a different concealer underneath. I don't know if it was that concealer that I used, Neutrogena one. But I used the Catrice one, which I use a lot. So I know it works well. So I didn't use the Suva Beauty palette. I just used the Balm one. So it's basically the same thing I did before, so I didn't show it, but I just used Bodacious in the crease with a little bit of Bold mixed together, and then just put Brazen on the eyelid, and then Built in the inner corner. So now I want to have like a metallic liner against the matte eyelid. I think that would look really pretty. So I'm going to use this eyeliner. This is in shade Gem, so I'm just gonna pop this on top of the eyelid. Alright, so now the eyeshadow is done, I'm going with this mascara by MAC. This is their Bold and Bad Lash Mascara. This has actually two mascara wands inside. There's one that's kind of fat for your upper lashes. And then on top there is another one that's really tiny for your bottom lashes. So let's try this out. So I'm just going to pop this on to prep my lashes for false lashes. For lashes, I'm going to use these by Fame Lashes. These were sent to me. These actually look kind of crazy, but let's give them a try. By the way, these are called Glory. Alright, so lashes are on. I don't know how I feel about these. They're super long, which intrigued me, but the hairs are so thin that you can barely even see them. I coated them with mascara, so they were thicker, Alright, so move on to the face now. So I'm just going to go in with foundation. So I'm going to go in with this foundation by Catrice. This is not new to me. I don't have a new foundation to try, but this is one of my favorite foundations. Alright, so the concealer that I used in the beginning for the first time, the Neutrogena one, I'm going to go ahead and use that underneath the eyes. I think it'll work a lot better underneath the eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and just highlight the face with that as well. Alright, so now to balance out the concealer and the foundation, because I'm looking a little bit pale, I'm going to use this cream contour by Kevyn Aucoin. They just sent this to me. So there's a cream contour, cream highlight, and there's a powder contour and a powder highlight. And then here's some like eyeshadows to contour your eyes. So I'm going to go with a sculpting cream to contour with. Alright, so that worked pretty well. It was a little sheer. I really had to build it up to get a good contour. It's best for people with fair skin tone for sure. I think it's a really good color. It's not too gray, not too warm. So this would be really good with someone who wants a super natural contour. So I don't have a new setting powder, so I'm just going with the one I always use, the NYX HD finishing powder. And then with my dirty ass beauty blender, I'm just going to set my under eyes with that. Alright, so I'm going to take a little brush. I'm just going to set the rest of my face with that, where I would put the concealer so that it's not so shiny. So I'm going to use the powder and the palette to contour a little bit more with, and then I'm going to go in with the highlighter and see what that's all about. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with the highlighter in the palette. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, yes. And the reason my nose is still red from foundation and concealer is because it's super dry because it's sunburnt first off, so no product is sticking to it. So that's why it still looks red. Alright, so for blush, I'm going to use this one by Limelight. I don't believe I've ever used it on my channel before. I don't think I've ever used this. I haven't, it hasn't even been touched. This doesn't have a shade, but it's like a peachy coral. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop that onto the cheeks. Alright, so now I'm gonna move on to eyebrows. I have had this pencil for a while, but I've never used it. This is the Maybelline Brow Precise Micro Crayon. This does not have a shade on it, but it's like almost an ashy brown. Alright, so that actually looks really good. Actually went on really nice and even. It wasn't patchy or like crumbly. So for lips, I'm going to try the new Dose of Colors Lip It Up. These are like lip crayons. So they sent me a whole bunch of them. This is Cinnamon Swirl. I'm going to put this all over. And then I'm going to put Glazed in the center, kind of like as an ombre. So I'm on pretty easily. The shape of this is kind of different. It's more like squared or rectangular at the top. I actually think that does help with the application a little bit. It was a lot more faster than what I usually take to do lipstick. Got sharp edges and everything. It has a nice like glossy satin look to it. I really like that because that makes your lips look bigger. Alright, so I'm just gonna put the mascara on the bottom lashes and then we'll be done. Alright guys, so here's the finished look. Something a little bit different for me. It's like the inner corner and everything. It looks so good though. So my overall thoughts is the beginning of this video was absolutely a mess. I don't recommend using this concealer to like prime your eyelids with. It looks really nice under the eyes, as you can see, but to prime it, I think that's what made the eyeshadows go very patchy and it just did not work out. So this Neutral Necessity palette was actually pretty good. I don't recommend the black. The black does not blend at all. but all the other shades are pretty good. With the Hydra liners by Suva, I don't know if it was just I don't know what I was doing. I had never used them before, but I know you just get them wet, because it is Hydra. Hydra liner, it means, Hydra means water. So I just put water in here, and I don't know, it just was super patchy. It was not opaque. It was really hard because it was like super like watery. I don't know. I didn't like this very much. I'll probably give it more tries to figure out what the hell I'm doing with this. My favorite things are the highlighter that was in the Kevyn Aucoin palette, and the Nude Beach palette by the Balm looks amazing. Like you can see the blending looks so freaking good. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in my next video.